business. People would just be interested. Hey, welcome everybody to Flameless Fireside podcast. Today is Sunday, December 20th. And we've got a Jaclyn Percy that will be joining us momentarily. We're going to be talking about the rules of engagement. What are the okays and not okays for when interacting with the opposite sex? So it's going to be an awesome show tonight. We look forward to seeing everybody there.
My chat so I can see it.
Sorry, I think I have something in my eyeball.
How are you doing tonight, Jaclyn? Are you excited?
I'm good. I'm nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous.
It's not. Yeah, once you get going, you're gonna just be like chit chatting with old friends. So it'll go well.
Neat.
There he is. Perfect. Sorry, I'm kind of multitasking here for a second.
You're fine.
That's okay.
So when they come in, are they going to be muted and they can't have access to their video, or is it just
Their video will still pop up,
Okay.
but we'll just turn it off.
Okay.
I thought last time I looked at these settings, it said that you could turn people's videos off for them, but I'm not seeing it now, so maybe not. But everyone will be muted. Nobody can unmute themselves unless we unmute them.
Cool. Okay. That's
So
the
hopefully we don't have anarchy.
Issue with that last
But everyone in the audience, please feel free to leave any questions, comments in the chat. We'll try to work them into the conversation when we can.
There we go.
If you want to just like say crap to Nick, that's fine too. Go ahead and leave that in the chat. It's allowed.
That works.
How'd your day go this week? How'd your weekend go there, Jaclyn?
My weekend was good. We went and had Christmas dinner with my family. So
Very nice.
yeah, we live a couple hours away. So it feels like, we got out of town and
When you really didn't.
right.
Like a little mini trip.
Right.
Yeah, those are the best.
Thank you, Matthew.
Oh, snap.
Good beard. Sadly, its days are numbered. I will tell you that.
Oh, are you going to cut it? Are you going to shave your face to a little baby face?
Is that kind of like your 2021, like welcome to the new year kind of thing?
Maybe. That's a good way of looking at it.
You got to like shave all that baggage of 2020 off of your face.
That's actually a good idea.
All this weight I'm carrying around. Done with it. It's a good idea.
Is it from No Save November and then you just kind of rolled it over into December?
I actually started this before November. I mean,
Oh.
it was definitely before October, because I remember talking about having it for October and like doing something with it for Halloween. And then once I have it for October, I might as well keep it for No Shave November. And then once I have it for No Shave November, might as well
You'll keep it for Christmas, Santa Claus.
And then what about like Valentine's Day? I mean, you could just keep that puppy. You know what you could do? You could like decorate it with each.
Or how about this? Nick, me and you, January 1st, we'll both shave our beards together on Zoom.
That would be awesome.
I'll shave mine, you shave yours together.
He's thinking about it. He's contemplating.
I am thinking about it.
Yeah, I could join in maybe.
We're just gonna shave it
Get one right here.
one at a time.
Hey, Whitney always has such good lighting. Seriously.
I have a ring light.
So do I.
Yeah. Okay.
I already had mine for like 3 years though.
Like I've got like a ring light for like makeup, but I don't know if it would work on this. I don't know if it's bright enough.
Hold on a second. Let's see if I change that. I've got, there we go.
Very nice.
Yep. Bring it down. Way down. Yeah. Ooh, it accents my natural skin tones. Very cool.
Very nice.
Oh, let's see. My beard is a girl named Velma, mostly just one chin hair though.
Yeah, right here. I don't feel it right now though, so I think I've plucked it recently.
That's like a welcome to the 30s present that comes. You know, you hit your 30s.
So I don't know how it came up, but at one point I was talking to my sisters. I have 3 sisters. And somehow it came up and we're all like, yeah, I have one chin hair too. And we're like, yeah, I have one chin hair too. Like we all just have just one.
It's a
one
gift
right
from
there.
the 30s. They just said, oh, here, have a chin hair. You know, and then you
Surprise.
and you get them like sporadically. One more will add, 35, and then
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Every few years you get one extra.
yeah, you just get they like breed on your chin. Yeah.
Jaclyn.
I can't wait.
So at the beginning of every one of our podcasts, Jaclyn, we always ask the question, where are the boundaries that we should be a little
I've already asked them.
minefield?
All right, you're good.
What are we not going to be talking about tonight?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yep.
So like when I talk about the vibrators, if we go for like, are you a charging kind of a girl or are you a D battery type of a girl? I mean, what are we going for?
Okay, but like, do they even sell ones anymore that have batteries? I swear they're all rechargeable. I've literally never seen one that uses batteries.
Jaclyn?
I don't know.
Yeah,
She
Brent
never
agrees.
does that.
They're all rechargeable now.
It's all
Oh,
charging now. Thanks, Brent.
But
Now that we got that cleared up.
I misread it when I looked at it. I thought he said mine is charging right now.
That's great.
Yes, I must be out of the loop.
Probably is charging now.
So Jaclyn, welcome to Flameless Fireside.
Thank you.
You've been a long-time watcher, first time
Caller?
caller, huh?
First time in the hot seat.
Well, do us a favor. Where are you from?
I've lived most of my life in Oregon. I was born in the Salem area. Lived a few years in Idaho. I went to Rick's. The last term it was Rick's. It's BYU, Idaho, for those of you that are too young to remember Rick's, Whitney.
Hey, I knew it used to be Rick's. It wasn't that when I would have gone there, but I knew that.
Yeah, so I've been in Tillamook on the coast for 15 years. When my husband graduated college, he got a job at the hospital there. So we've just been hanging out.
So do you live in Tillamook?
I do, yeah,
Okay.
They have the best cheese.
they do. And ice cream.
And ice cream, absolutely.
Mhm.
I can say I lived there for 2 years. I never met you over in Tillamook.
You lived in Tillamook for 2 years?
No, I lived in Portland for 2 years.
Oh, well, I haven't been single. I've only been single, like, my divorce was final like 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
But you know what,
So
Nick?
she's
I've seen
probably
you
married
before.
when you lived there.
I saw you swing dancing. I'm pretty sure it was you at a steak dance. I'm gonna call it a steak dance because that's what they feel like.
That's fair. At a single steak dance?
Mhm. Were you engaged
No.
Oh.
in the last few years? Was that a rumor?
Nick.
You came with a girl
Oh.
Interesting.
to the thing.
I did come with the girl. So
You
when
know what I'm talking about?
I think
I don't, but I'm loving
I
it.
know I'm liking to hear this though.
Are you talking about Aubrey Kimball?
Oh, I don't know names.
Oh,
What'd
okay.
she look like?
She's pretty cute.
I don't even remember.
She's
I just know
I'm
he
curious
could
to-
dance and I couldn't. And I was like, yeah, no guy. That's not the guy for me because I don't have moves like that.
Was this recent?
It was in the last 2.5 years.
Okay.
Was it last year or earlier this year?
Hey,
Okay.
Nick,
My guess.
No, it wasn't in the last year because I haven't gone to anything in a long time. It would
Okay.
have been summer.
My guess is it probably was. It was probably Tracy actually. Yeah, I didn't teach Aubrey how to swing dance, but I did teach.
Not if it was this year, because you just started dating Tracy last November.
Right. Oh, that is true, huh?
So,
So
what
if it was
about
longer
the
than
summer
that,
before that? Did you have a little summer fling?
I did.
Nick always has
Do
a
you have an
fling going on.
engagement attached to that summer fling?
I
I feel like as long as I've known Nick, I don't know that he's ever not had a fling
Hmm.
don't.
of
I don't
some
think
How
sort.
about in Delaware?
Actually, they are legitimate relationships.
I know, but you've always got somebody.
Well, when I met Whitney, like I just started dating Tracy like 6 days before.
I know.
So that's not very.
Did you try to date Whitney?
No.
No.
Hey,
You
he
guys
did
did it,
take her out
okay.
on a date though.
I was always dating
Well,
somebody.
like there's the shower and the bed, and I just didn't know if we were ever like dating.
No.
Oh, the
No,
fact
he
that I
was
slept in her
driving
bed?
through and he's a couch surfer that uses people. So he used me for a place to stay as he drove through. So
But did
Crazy.
he sleep on your couch?
no, he slept in my bed.
Okay,
Because I
that's
felt like him
this is what
sleeping in
I'm
my
saying.
bed was less weird than him sleeping in my daughter's bed. So he took my
Oh,
bed, I took
Whitney.
her bed.
Yeah. That way when I sleep naked, so it would be really weird if I was sleeping in her daughter's bed naked.
I washed those sheets first thing in the morning.
She burned those sheets. I don't even think she has them
No,
anymore.
they were my favorite sheets.
They are very nice sheets.
Thank you.
Oh, my
I
stars.
splurged on those.
So I didn't realize that you had met me or that you had seen me before.
I know. Why didn't you go talk to him?
Because he had
I
his
don't know.
fiance with him.
Oh,
I
true.
don't know.
His fiance.
Because I can't dance.
You were intimidated then.
Oh.
I can't.
Well, I was like hanging out with, I think I was hanging out with like a group of girls. And
So you were
and
intimidating.
you were
then.
there like paired up. You
Yeah.
were like, you and her were, it was just you and her together.
Okay.
And I don't know where I got the idea or the information you were engaged, but you know, the more
They
men
probably
read,
seemed very close,
they did.
intimate, touchy-feely.
We knew each other intimately.
We don't need details, Nick.
Yeah, it could have been one of two girls. I dated two girls when I was in Portland. So
And how long were you in Portland? I know you're kind of, how long did you live there?
2018 to 2020.
Okay. It was probably in 2018.
Okay, then it was Aubrey. Yeah, it was funny. I actually I arrived in Portland, newly separated, and just pissed off at my ex. And I was like, you know what? Screw this. Screw the world. I'm gonna go out and start like finding people to be friends with, and I'm gonna make this my thing here in Portland. So I got
Hoe
on.
season. That's called hoe season.
That was my host season, yes.
Yeah.
So I sent out a couple requests to join some groups in that area, and when I finally got into one of them, like when I was single, I was in Arizona, and when they had firesides and they had different things happening, it would be like, okay, it's going to be at this chapel. Oh, it's going to be at this chapel, that stake center, this stake center, that stake center, all these different ones, like 27 different stake centers. So there always was an address. And so when they're posting it, they're just like, oh yeah, it's going to be the Vancouver Stake Center. That's it. And you're like, well, dude, what's the address? So I type in, I'm like, what's the address? I want to come. And they're like, it's the Stake Center in Vancouver. I'm like, what's the address?
Do you not have Google?
Yes.
Go to the church website. You can look up the address.
No. Anyways, so they sent me the address and I was like, great, but I had to work that night, so I didn't get to make it. So the next week they're like, hey, we're gonna have this. And I was like, what's the address? Because I didn't know if it was the same place. And she's like, I sent you the address last week on the other thread. And I'm just like, dude, what a bitch. I'm like, all right, whatever,
Well, why are you acting like such an idiot?
I guess. So yeah, Celeste doesn't like it when I use the B word, so she just left.
No, she'll be right back.
I think the one that I saw you at, if I'm guessing right, because I've only been to a handful of things, was by the temple.
Okay, yeah, there's a steak center over there. Yeah, that's where they normally have all of the single adult dances in that area.
Yeah.
Most of them are about 50 years to 80 years old. So
That's typical.
yeah.
The guys that go or the buildings?
Both.
I don't want to have to limit that to anything. Yeah, no, but that's where that girl met me. She saw that post, and so she reached out to me. I said, "Hey, let's go on a date." We went on a 12-hour date, and we were dating ever since.
Wow.
Until you weren't.
And
Until we weren't, and then she got married like 3 months after that.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, good times.
People do that. Like, I can't even get one person to talk to me for 3 straight months. How do they convince them to marry them?
Jaclyn.
It's
Me
amazing.
neither, Whitney.
It's
No
like
clue.
2.5 months and they're like, oh, never mind. Bye.
I have guys that either they want to marry on the first date or they ghost me after one day. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have plenty of people that want to marry me before they know me. And I'm
Right.
like, hold on, let's talk for a minute. And then they're like, a couple months and they're like, okay. She's
Yeah.
a little
That's
much.
like 2-month mark.
If you take every boyfriend I've had in my entire life, add it together, then I have not had a boyfriend for more than 6 months,
Oh come on.
all combined. That includes
I find that hard to
the one I
believe.
married. So,
Wow.
obviously, I'm not a very good girlfriend. I'm a really good
Just
wife,
choosing
though.
the wrong guys, Whitney. You need to find the right guy.
I know. I'm really attracted to douchebags, though.
Yeah. So it's not so much you. It's just you've got to get the right person. The
But
right.
they all seem nice at first, though. They all seem nice at first. And then
You
they're
know how to
not.
put on a show at first. That is so true.
They're good at it.
What's the guy that you go out with? Because you said that they normally ghost you, right?
Yeah, most guys.
So what kind of guys are you dating?
What's your type?
Well, I've probably been on 10 dates my whole life. So
Your whole life or your whole post-divorce life?
So I met my husband when I was 17.
Okay.
So the last time I dated before my divorce was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I just haven't been on that many dates since I got divorced. I have a busy life. I have 4 kids. I'm a full-time student. I've been in school for 3 years. There's just been a lot going on. And so I've dated some, but not a lot.
So is this a
Choice?
your choice?
Are you just selective on who you date?
So I get no, like who is there to date in
No,
Oregon?
I will date anybody.
Just come ask me. I'll go.
Quadriplegic, paraplegic,
Seriously, like
jumper.
I'm a people person. I'm not that picky.
Do you
I don't
care
know.
their height? Do you have a height preference?
Well, I'm 5'2", so I like them taller
You're
than
good to
me.
go.
Yeah, I'm pretty good to go.
So no midgets.
No midget.
No midgets. Gotcha.
No.
You know it's a handicap.
Did you know that term is offensive?
I
They
was
like
going to say,
little
why are
people.
you not calling them little people?
Yeah.
Since when? When did that go
I
up?
actually just recently got reprimanded for this.
Yeah, you're supposed to call them little people. They don't like
Yeah.
midget.
Midget is like the same as the N-word.
Yeah, they
Shame
don't.
on you, Nick.
No.
To them it is. Like they would prefer to be called little people versus
Or the R word.
The fact
yeah.
the fact that we are just debating on the severity of 2 words and we're willing to
Hey.
say one of them but not willing to say the other kind of tells you which
No,
one.
I didn't say the other one either. I also said the R word. So yeah, I feel like they're both severe. And I also hate when people say the R word.
And I wonder who says the R word.
Well, that's kind of retarded.
Okay, for real, Nick. The PC police are going to come and like take you away.
Right? No joke. Okay, so you don't have a height requirement. You're not picky about who you date. Is it a
No,
long?
I would say I'm not picky.
Okay,
Where's your bar? How high is your bar?
yeah. Let's give
Slightly
me.
like one rung above yours, Whitney.
Mine is basically on the ground, so
I was gonna say she buried her bar.
mine should be much higher than it is. If you're only barely above me, I would recommend you move that way up.
So this is the thing. When I'm in school, I'm really too busy.
Yeah. who
And
has
so
time?
I don't really pursue or I just don't date much during school. So like when it's spring break or summer break or like winter break, like that's why I'm here. Like I'm like I've been into the podcast and I don't have to be in school right now, so I have a little more free time. But come January, I won't. Like January, mid-January, I start a full-time internship. So it's like 40-hour a week plus like classes.
How is that supposed to work? You're looking for somebody right now, but what in 2 weeks you ghost them?
Yes.
No.
This is the thing. She's got to put her priorities in order. So right now, schooling is most
I
important.
just haven't connected with anybody. I mean, I think for the right person, I could make time for them or connect with them.
Okay.
But there's never been mutual interest. So either they're interested in me or I'm interested in them. And it's never like both.
So do you like the whole, do you like skinny guys? Do you like bigger guys? Do you want somebody that's like bulked out, like hulked out, or?
Well, my ex was like a weightlifter. So he was a bodybuilder.
So you do like the muscles?
I do like muscles. I would take like, yeah, I can't do skinny. I'm not skinny. So I need someone that's bigger, but not too big.
Someone that's still healthy. Is that what you're trying to get at?
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
mind
I like to be really active. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Well, I mean, you live in Oregon, so there's like tons of hiking that happens all around that area. You're in
beautiful.
Tillamook, so do you like to go to the beach often?
I do. I prefer the river. Like if it's a super hot day, I love to take my kids and throw them in the river. So
Throw them in the river.
Just chuck them in.
yeah. No, we do. We like to go to the beach, river. I like the outdoors a lot. I wouldn't say I'm outdoorsy, but I like to be outdoors. Like
Okay.
camping isn't really for me.
How old are your kids?
Why? Why do you not like camping? Is it because of bears?
No. I didn't
We're
grow
gonna
up.
bond there for a minute, but
Sorry, Celeste.
it's okay.
Yeah, no, I would pee my pants if I saw a bear. So.
She would totally camp with a bear.
Right. They'll come like right through the middle of your campground and rip through your tent. And like you got to play dead, but they're still going to throw you around anyway. So scary.
Yeah, that's not really for me.
Okay, so I live in the Rocky Mountains. I've been to a lot of years of girls' camp where we had bears in camp. No one has ever been thrown around by a bear. No one's tents ever got ripped up. Like food was eaten, yes, but it's not like an automatic death sentence. And this is coming from me, and I'm scared of everything. That's why I won't even touch the ocean, because I'm pretty sure it will kill me. So I'm just saying, don't be as scared as you think you are.
I would
Okay.
die.
I'm not sure the ocean would kill you, Whitney.
There is an infinite number of ways to die in the ocean.
Yeah, but if you dip your toe in it, you're probably not
Number
gonna-
one, you're going to get caught. It's going to sweep you out to sea, dead. Even if you can swim, if you get caught in a storm in the ocean, you're dead. You're going to
Okay.
freeze to death. Something is going to eat you, not just sharks. There's lots of things that will eat you, pull you under. You're going to drown. There's amoebas in there, parasites. There's so many ways to die in the ocean.
Plus there's that back thing like in the ocean that would pull you into back out in the
Yeah,
ocean.
they're the
See?
Yep.
Being attacked by a bear.
really cuddly bear.
Just a casual Monday morning in Russia.
It looks
Yeah,
cute.
I'm not going camping in Russia.
Okay, but these are Russian bears.
They're more aggressive.
Those are different. Everything in Russia is worse.
Oh my gosh, he's totally climbed up the tree after him.
Oh my goodness.
That's like my nightmare.
Get away from me.
Ah, Okay.
Oh,
That is not real.
That one works for me.
Oh, they're friends.
Oh.
I think that's Smokey. Always whispering sweet nothings.
Showing her protective instincts when a car gets too close to her cubs.
Oh, she's gonna charge.
Yeah, this can't be good.
Nope.
One time I fed a baby bears some fish.
Oh my gosh. We ran into the car.
Partygoers show no signs of panic as a bear crashes their gathering.
Sean, hit your cigar. This is a fucking joke, right?
I just see this ending badly.
Jelly sandwich.
Nick, did you ever see the TikTok with like the kid, obviously a Gen Xer, that the bear just like walks up on the deck of the cabin and it just like starts yelling at it, like doesn't move, doesn't flinch, nothing. It's just like, get out of here. What do you want? Like no fear.
No, I haven't
I was
seen
like,
that.
you're a moron.
Now we're gonna have a caffeinated bear. That's all we need.
That looks like Nick. Chug, 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 chug.
Man having a nap by his pool is
All right. So we do know that bears attack, but apparently it only attacks in Russia.
Yeah, just don't camp in Russia. You'll be fine.
And don't drive next to their babies.
Yeah.
Right.
No, don't do that.
Right. So you don't like camping, and you live in Oregon.
I just didn't grow up camping.
Okay. So
And I really like to sleep in my bed
I
where
guess
it's
When you're
warm
there.
and soft.
you have a Tempur-Pedic bed.
No,
No.
but it's a good one.
Oh, that's good. How old are your kids? You mentioned that you have 4 kids, right?
Yes, I have 2 teenage girls that are 16 and 14, and then I have boys that are 12 and 9.
Okay. So a
Yeah, my-
relatively younger family.
Well,
I haven't been in diapers for a long time, so
Right.
Which is nice.
yeah, they're a lot easier now.
I thought for like half a second about having a baby, just like a sperm bank baby. And then I was like, oh, but my kids feed themselves, they dress themselves, they go to the bathroom by themselves. Like that's real nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
So,
lot to take on.
and also then I couldn't travel as much. So I was like, nah, forget it. Sorry, baby.
It would cut into your dating time.
I know it would make things harder.
Mhm.
And also, I mean, that baby wouldn't have a dad. That seems kind of selfish, but
Interesting.
all right.
So you've been divorced for 2.5 years. Why did you get divorced?
For a lot of reasons. Do you want the Reader's Digest version?
Just
Sure.
make a list.
Yeah, go for that.
So I just felt like when we got married, so I was 19 when I got married. And I just feel like he had like all the pieces that completed my puzzle. He's my best friend and all of that good stuff. And I really, looking back, I really think there was like a trauma bond there that like we weren't really healthy. And so he just kind of like fulfilled those needs. And then
What is the age difference between you and your ex?
3 years. He's 3 years older.
Okay, so you were 19, he was 22.
Hmm.
Okay.
So you were 17, he was 20. 3
Yeah,
years
I
isn't a big deal for us now, but like when one of you is still a minor, it is a bigger deal.
I think I was almost 18
Okay.
when
Did
I
you-
met
How did you meet him?
him. He was my ex-boyfriend's
Say
best friend's brother.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh.
I thought you were
Yeah.
gonna say your ex-boyfriend's brother. So it's better you threw that.
I'm like, I had to think that through so it came out right. It's been a long time.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, so we got married, had our family and everything, and then he had like some mental health crises, and that lasted a couple years. And then and just when I thought he was starting to come out of that, it was like he got totally manic and like was off the charts, like just doing crazy things. But he it was really that he was just like drunk and high coming home every night. So he had a serious drug problem, and we went he went to rehab a few times, and we spent a few years trying to work that out. And it just got to the point like where things were so bad for the kids and I that I finally got like the prompting that like I had to leave. So
That's so tough.
This is something that we were talking about on one of the pages, is that sometimes, because someone was saying, why do we choose a divorce? And I comment on Whitney's thing. I'm like, you know what? Sometimes it's not even a choice. Even if we do choose to divorce, like it is, sometimes it just has to happen. It's not necessarily a choice. I mean, I guess it's a choice, but you really don't have a choice, because it's either stay in a crappy marriage that's going to be horrible for your kids, or, move on. So
it had gotten really bad. Like, I think if you asked my bishop, he would be like, I was begging her to leave 2 years before she left, kind of thing. And it was really like the spirit really told me like, you have to leave. And I even like prayed like, can we just separate for a while? Like, do I have to get a divorce? And the answer was yes, you have to get a divorce. Because I was really hell bent on like, I said forever, like we got married in the temple. Nobody in my family is really divorced. There was no divorce close to me. It was not an option. Like I loved him and I wanted to make it work. I honestly thought that there was a long time like where my needs weren't being met, even before things were bad, but I would like ask him to meet my needs and he just couldn't do that. And I didn't have like the self-worth to like leave then. So I stayed until it was really bad. And yeah, because I just thought I could love him and fix him. Like if I just tried harder, if I just was a better wife or did this and that I could just do it. And I did it for a long time.
sometimes you feel like you can do enough for both of you, right? Like that's how I felt too. Like I can do my part, plus I can do his, and somehow make this work for my kids. And it was that moment where I'm like, I just can't be enough. I can't do enough. Like this is pretty much impossible. And that's a hard reality to get to, right? When you're pleading with the Lord, please save this for my children, and you can't do it all. So
yeah, because I really thought seeing together what was best for the kids, but it kind of a big turning point. I wasn't ready to leave at that point, but I started having panic attacks. Like the kids would call me to like tuck them in at night. And I would literally like my anxiety was so bad and I would just freak out. And so then I had to get on an antidepressant to control my anxiety. And things only got worse from there. But it was like, okay, I actually can't do this.
That's so
Yeah.
he went to rehab a couple different times.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Wow. What were the time frames that he'd be gone, like 30, 60, 90 days?
So he did a couple of short stints. One, he checked himself out early. It was only for like a few days. And then one was he had an 11-day stay in Portland. That was the first time. And then he did a 30-day program and I begged him to stay. I actually didn't pick him up. I went down there to pick him up. It was like in Eugene area. And he was being such a jerk. Like we were supposed to have this meeting and all be on the same page. And the guy literally was like, I don't know if you can see, like he pulled me out in the hallway and was like, he is treating you like so horribly. He's like, maybe this could be the first time that you stand up for yourself and just leave. Like, just leave him here. And I did.
Good for that guy. Good for you.
And then he came home and relapsed like 2 weeks later. And then he got a DUI 2 months after we separated with like one of my children in the car. And so he did rehab. He's done rehab once since we separated, and he's actually been clean and sober for a couple years. So for him, he's doing really good. But for me, he's like nowhere near like, because I've toyed with the idea a long time.
How do your kids feel about the divorce? And then like, what's their relationship with their dad now?
My kids are all thrilled that I got divorced. That was hard, that was bad, that's not ideal, but it's so much better.
Are they all girls?
Nope, the two youngest are boys.
Okay, right.
So I would say child number 3, my oldest boy, like worshipped his dad. And that was the one who was with him when he got a DUI. And so all of my kids kind of have like the 2 teen girls, like, I'll just say like took the brunt of the abuse. Like they knew the most, they saw the most, they understood. And so they're kind of jaded. And then the kid who was with them with the DUI, that was really hard. They all like love their dad and think he's the best dad in the whole world.
Sure.
But and then the youngest has recently bonded with him and they are in a really good place. But before our divorce, they never had, because I think their dad had been using like that whole time. He got hooked on pain pills and was using for several years before I knew. And so those two never bonded.
Okay.
But they have a really good relationship now. He really enjoys going places with his dad and doing things and like having that one-on-one, being like, and he needed that. Like he's grown leaps and bounds and is doing so much better emotionally since that.
That's
So,
good.
yeah. So the kids, what was the other question? The kids do good with their dad now.
So what's their relationship like now? Like, do they see him frequently? Does he live? I don't know. Does he live in your town or?
So that recently changed. He was gone. He spent like 6 months basically not seeing them after we separated, because at first he wasn't sober, and then he went to rehab for like 60 days the last time, and then he stayed with his parents for several months after, and then he moved to Tillamook, and he just
Your parents?
no his parents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he's back there now. He actually just today finished moving back in with them, which is 2 hours away. So he's back in Salem.
Okay.
Yeah. So we don't have an every other weekend plan. We never went to mediation or got a parenting plan. And so it's
Kinda
really flexible.
Kind of up in the air.
It's kind of what it says in our divorce is really far from what he has now, because it was an emergency situation when I filed. And so I was like, it has a lot of contingencies. Like he sees them 2 hours a month when I say, if he's sober, with the kids that want to see him. And so now it's like every other weekend, but my oldest has a job, so she never goes. And my teen daughter goes sometimes, and the boys kind of go back and forth, but he's really good. We have a really good relationship. We get along fine. And since my schedule changes every school term, it's just really flexible. So he works 3/12s, and my schedule is always all over the place because I'm in a program. Like they just tell me, hey, you have to travel this day to McMinnville, or you're interning in this place. And so for me, like my schedule's all over the place. And with him only working 3 days, he can accommodate, like, so like if I'm gone on a Thursday, Friday for school, he'll like take the kids to school or stay at my house or whatever needs to happen. So we co-parent really well. That was the point of that. Sorry.
That's great.
Yeah.
So
There's a little bit of the background sound that's kind of coming in and out.
I don't know.
For me,
I think it's on your end.
I'm in a quiet room, but I just moved my laptop closer.
Is
It sounds like it's like feedback, like we talk and then there's like an echo of some sort.
like we can hear ourselves.
I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
I didn't hear it then.
Maybe your laptop was just turned up a little bit too loud.
I don't know.
I could turn it down.
As long as you can as long as you can hear us, that's fine.
Don't try to silence my voice, Nick.
I did crank it up before the show because, well, oh yeah, I did. I turned it up all the way. I don't know if I can fix it, Nick. I'll try.
sounds fine. Right now it's not doing it. It just was like a little stint where every time we talk, it would do it. But
Yeah,
I
Matthew.
hate that. I hate the echoey feedback.
to go off of this, you know, how you guys co-parent really well. That's awesome because dealing with the single scene, I come across a lot of people that's just not the case. Like there's just a battle sometimes between the two, like the mother and the father, and the kids kind of get stuck in the middle. And I was raised, my mom and dad divorced when I was about 6, and it was like a 2-year custody battle and like 2 years of being used as a pawn against each other. And I don't think they weren't doing it purposefully. They weren't trying to be mean to the kids, but they were so caught up in their own emotions that we got in the middle, and it was easy to kind of use us to kind of get back at the other parent. So when I decided to get a divorce, like that was my main thing. I'm like, I will not use my kids. So I'm extra kind to my ex. He tries to be extra kind to me, even if it's awkward. Like he's coming to my house for Christmas. Yay, I get to spend Christmas with my ex, you know, but it's best for the kids. So we put it aside and we do what's best for them, even if it's not necessarily the most comfortable for us. So I say kudos to you guys for being able to, you know, put your kids first.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do too, because yeah,
To
the
benefit for
kids
them.
are the most important to me. And he's come around to the idea of like, the kids think I'm mean, but whatever.
I mean, you're doing your job right, though. Supposed to be.
Yeah. They're like, Dad never talks bad about you. You talk bad about him all the time. And I'm like, well, is it not true? Like, I wasn't saying what I said to be mean, but it's the truth. Like, I was just stating something.
I mean, kids do pick things up very easily. They pick up way more than we know. But like my kids always will ask me things that I know for a fact I've never said. Like they'll be like, well, why won't you let Dad live in our house anymore? And I'm like, that was his choice, not mine. I've never said he couldn't be in our house. And they're like, well, because you don't like Dad. And so that's why he doesn't come around. I'm like, no, I've literally never said that ever. So I think some of it is just stuff that they pick up and then they're going to take it out on you because they're more comfortable with you.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yep.
No.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious. You said that your work is kind of all over the place. You don't have like a steady schedule. What is it that you do?
I'm a full-time student and I'm in an occupational therapy assistant program.
Okay.
And so it's not just like I'm taking classes at the college. It's like they expect you to be available 40 hours a week. And now I'm interning and stuff. So I'm interning on top of classes. And so, but I'm 6 months from graduating. So
That's
Right.
I
awesome.
only have like 6 months left of crazy and then I will be good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now I know that some people in the audience have done physical therapy assistants, so occupational
Oh, yeah.
is really good too.
Yeah.
That's
Somebody
awesome.
just posted.
I bet you're so excited to graduate. Like I've been like a junior forever. So
I am. I'm really excited. But I'm really close to another degree too, like 2 terms, the organ transfer degree. So that would put me at junior status if I ever went back to school or tried to pursue a bachelor's or another thing. And so I'm thinking I should just finish it, but I don't want to.
yeah.
But like if I just take a class a semester maybe
Right.
while I'm working.
There's
There you
no
go.
time like the present.
Get
Do
it
you
done.
have Do you have a job already lined up for occupational therapy, or?
I don't. I was really hoping to get on at my local hospital and I ended up interning there. I was supposed to go to Richland, Washington. So I was going to, yeah.
Hometown.
Yeah. So I was supposed to go to Can Do Kids and intern for 8 weeks and it got canceled. So I was able to get my foot in at our local hospital and yeah, a job could come of that. It's just there's not a lot of dating opportunities in Tillamook. So I feel like if I choose to stay there, I'll probably never remarry. So
what's your plan around that? What are you open to moving? Do you plan on moving? What are you thinking?
I have no idea.
Have you ever thought about moving to Delaware?
all the time.
Everybody does.
Yes.
Everyone wants to live in Delaware because Nick just talks about it. So like he praises that place. So everyone wants to flock there because he
Yeah.
loves it.
And
Yeah,
then
no.
they move here, and then they're just like, this is bullshit right here.
He lied to me.
There's like one person in Delaware. It's Nick. That's it.
He's like
That's it.
old fake.
You tricked me.
Oh, funny.
Oh.
So I'm sorry. I'm trying to do the math here. You're going to school full time.
Yes.
Your ex is a junkie.
He has a job.
Are you just independently wealthy?
Yes. In my dreams.
I mean, I don't want to have to like dig down in finances or whatnot, but how are you affording going to school full time and not working?
Well, I worked part-time until this term, till I had to intern and go to school because I was commuting 2 days a week to Dallas and McMinnville.
Okay.
But yeah, so I worked part-time. I get healthy child support and alimony because he has a good job at the hospital. He never lost his job, which is a miracle because for 4 or 5 years in a row, he'd take like a 6-month leave of absence and they just let him.
Yeah, I need
they're
a job
allowed
like
to-
that.
Yeah, they can't fire you for mental health reasons. So
Yeah, and the hospital he works at is a really big proponent. Like if you show up to work and you're drunk or high, like they don't fire you, they send you to rehab.
right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's actually probably a much better way of dealing with it.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
I think so.
Very, very liberal way of dealing with it.
I just think like if there's an issue, focus on the issue, right? Because if those issues weren't there, then he would probably be showing up on time and doing what he's supposed to do. So I don't know. That's just kind of how I am. Like, go for the root of the problem, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's what all of our jails should be, but
But also at the same time, like, I don't know what he did at the hospital, but let's just say a surgeon, for example, if they show up and they're drunk or high and they're good at hiding it because they're an addict. And so they're used to trying to play this role. Like, I don't want them working on me. I don't want the hospital's policy to be like, oh yeah, we're just going to send you home if we notice something. Like, I want them doing drug tests to make sure that their surgeons are able to perform their work.
that's funny you say that because maybe that happened.
Yeah.
But they don't send him home. They like literally drove him to rehab.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just envisioning this in my head.
This was not, but this
Just
is not
kinda
my
going
ex.
over-
My ex isn't a doctor.
Just like number 7 scalpel.
Oh my gosh.
And he's all like, you mean number 4? No, damn it. Give me number. Yes, number 4. Thank you.
No, there was another person in our area that I don't know what happened, but I heard that, I live in a rumor mill. And so, yeah, he showed up intoxicated to work and he got a nice trip to rehab too. But as far as I know, they're both doing well.
Interesting.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Good deal.
And they're both back. They both still work at the hospital.
I feel like that's an interesting policy for a hospital.
It's an Adventist hospital.
Keep this
If it
for my
works, then
next
okay.
prostate exam.
What are you doing?
Is that you brought home your glove from your last prostate exam?
Well,
Might as
Little
well.
I
memento.
wanted something to remember him by.
You had such a great
That's awesome.
Okay, so let me in on your you haven't dated much since your divorce, it sounds like, but any dates that you have gone on, have any dating horror stories?
I think that most of the dates I've gone on, I would be the horror story would be
Oh my
my
God.
guess.
Oh,
Because-
There's a horror story.
You'd be the horror
Yeah.
story.
Everybody has a good story about me, right? So I didn't know how to date. Like I had been with this guy for 20 years. I only knew how to be married. The last time I had a boyfriend besides my husband, I was 16 and in high school. And so like I don't have a lot of dating experience. And so like I would be like try to be like married to these guys on the first date. I was one of those. So yeah. So it's weird I got ghosted, I know.
walk me through what that looks like.
Oh, I don't even know. I don't think
I feel like you probably get a similar review to what I often get. She's a little much.
Okay, so this is
I'm a little much.
my thought process is trying to understand if she is acting like she's married to me on my first date. So I'm trying to be the gentleman, trying to be the nice guy. I pick her up at her place. I open up the door. She gets in. I shut the door. I walk around. Maybe she opens it for me. Maybe she doesn't. Either way, I'm good. So I get in the car. I get a little roadhead on the way where we're going.
Nope.
And then
First date, back up. Nope.
well, she said that she acts like they're married.
If they were married, she's not giving no roadhead.
Exactly.
Oh,
I promise you.
this must be a different relationship than I was used to. Okay, so walk me through what you're talking about.
I think I was just like an emotional wreck. Like I know
How
it's gonna
soon
be
did
hard.
you start dating?
That's a good question.
Before I was divorced, right away, like day
So
one.
very quick.
You and me, soulmates.
I didn't know. Okay,
Finalized, is that what you mean? Like before the final, you guys were already separated and got the paperwork, and then
okay. So we separated in January, and it took me from January to July to decide what I wanted, like in the paperwork, to be able to process all of that.
Mhm.
So I filed in July, and it was final like the beginning of September. So he didn't contest anything. He just gave me everything I wanted.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
Yeah, because we kind of liquidated because I knew what I was doing. And so after I kicked him out, I got him to agree to like sell the house. And we had 2 cars. So it was like, you take your car, I'll take my car. But he had a DUI. So I actually had both cars for a long time. It was just, I kind of tried to separate everything for the divorce so that it was just like clean. Like it was just like the kids and the money and that kind of stuff.
Would have loved to have an ex like you.
Do you know what? I'm a really good ex-wife. I think that's what in my dating profile, that should be like the pickup line.
That should be like the number one
I
thing
make
up
a
there.
really good
Same.
ex-wife.
I will
But I
be
feel
your
like, how do you
best
tell people
ex-wife.
that?
You just say, I'm a really good ex-wife. I'm kind to my ex.
How does that not come
Maybe
across as a red
it's-
flag, though?
No.
I don't care at this
that's
point.
People are like, stop focusing on past relationships
like,
already.
I will be your best ex-wife. See, as far as I'm concerned, that's planning ahead.
I have tried
Everybody
that.
likes
one
people that
before.
have goals.
I am a
I've tried that
planner.
before, it doesn't work.
I do like to have a plan for everything.
Okay, so have you ever taken the Myers-Briggs personality profile?
Yeah, but I don't remember what it was. I'm an entertainer.
You're an entertainer. Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember the initials though. That's kind of too much. I'm like an INFJ or a
Hey, I'm an
ENFJ.
INFJA. That's like the rarest out there. Are you one of the
Is
rarest
it?
personalities? Yeah.
I feel like
You
an
know what?
entertainer would
I
not be
could
an I.
Yeah, I think I'm probably wrong at my initials, but
I feel like an entertainer would be an E.
Yep.
you're probably right, Whitney.
ESFP.
Is that what I am?
Okay, makes sense.
Yep. All right there, black and white, clear as crystal.
see.
You stole fizzy lifting drinks. Whitney wouldn't get that. That's a Willy Wonka.
I've seen it. I have seen that. I've seen the old version and the remake. Both.
Wow.
The original version's better.
Awesome.
Oh.
What?
Check you out.
So,
What just happened?
yeah, good times. I lost my train of thought.
I know. I'm like, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
I
So
was
anyways,
asking where you
Okay, so tell us about your dating horror stories, about you being a horror story.
Okay,
Like,
so I'll
what
tell you
went
my
down on the
best.
dates?
I'll tell you my best date. He'll probably see this too.
Oh, good.
So, he ghosted me. In case you're
Oh,
wondering.
I hope
But
he comments.
he has a girlfriend now, and I'm really happy for him. So they're lovely together.
That sounds so sincere. They are so lovely together. Just wish them well.
I told you I'm good at being an ex.
Awesome.
Okay, so I don't like to date in my town because it's really small. It would be, yeah. So if guys come there, like I have my kids there, I know everybody there, I have a crazy ex-husband. So I cannot bring people to risk because like when I go to the grocery store, I see at minimum 20 people I know. So I like to date, like if I date, I'll meet them in Portland or Hillsborough or whatever. Is typically what I've done. So this was a morning date. I'm not a morning person. It was like a brunch date. And so I had to get up really early. I happened to stay up really late the night before.
This is
So I
when
wake up.
my hearing just kind of comes in. All I heard was a horny date, and you're not a horny person. Just like that's not right.
Morning with an
Morning.
Morning.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Don't tell
Continue.
people I'm not horny.
Continue.
Okay. So it was a morning brunch date. So I get up early. Felt totally hungover. I was not hungover. I don't drink.
Well,
Drove
not
out
on the
to
weekends.
Not on. So I drove to this cute little place that he picked for brunch, and I get there, and all of a sudden, as I'm walking in, I start to feel like I have a migraine coming on. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. So I meet him. He brings me flowers, totally sweet. Ask him if he has any ibuprofen or anything in his car. And he's like, no, I don't like take medication. And I'm like, okay.
He doesn't
And
take
so-
ibuprofen?
No.
Ah,
And so
that's
I was sick the whole entire day. I spent the whole date puking in the bathroom.
Fun.
I ended up ordering plain toast and not taking a bite of it.
So do you think he thought that maybe you were hungover?
I'm not, maybe. We talked that whole weekend. It was a general conference weekend. It was like, so it was November, probably a year ago.
Okay.
This is probably one of the last dates I've been on. And so, yeah, but I have no idea how I made it home. It was like an hour and a half or 2 hour drive, and I had to pull over. And I was basically like praying like I didn't die like the whole way home.
So why were you so sick? Like that's not just from staying up late.
Morning
No
sickness?
idea.
Hmm.
I think maybe I drank like a vegetable drink, like some sort of health drink on an empty stomach right when I woke up. Maybe I like drank that on the way there and it just made me really sick.
Interesting.
Or it might have been a migraine. And
How
really
was
bad.
True, it was a migraine. That can make you nauseous.
yeah.
how was the date like per se? I mean, you're sick, you're puking. I mean, obviously he stuck around.
He was not impressed.
I
It's
mean,
weird. It's weird that wasn't a big turn on for him.
but he sat there and he's like, so you like turnips? And you're like, "Bleh!" You're like, yeah.
I made it
Which
to
one?
the bathroom.
So
So did you ever go on a second date?
He said we would, and then he ghosted me like 2 days later.
that's what I would do too. I would try to be
Really?
like, oh yeah, sure, yeah, well, totally. We are totally getting together. You and me, huh? Deleting phone number, blocking Facebook, swiping left.
Oh,
Yeah, I was that girl.
you're
But
saying
none of my dates, that might have been the most successful date I've been on. So
Tell us about more dates then, if that was success.
I was gonna say if I didn't have humor, I would probably cry right now.
so, Jaclyn. I know you're saying you don't want to date locally, because of your, running into people in grocery stores and stuff. So, have you ever considered like a long distance relationship?
Like
yes.
anybody in Delaware or whatever.
Like, I know that Nick is
long
desperately
distance
wanting to do an LDR. So,
Nick is very desperate, that's for sure.
I'll send you my phone number.
Thank you.
Ooh.
That's not something you're opposed to.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm really open. I'm really open to whatever kind of comes along. It's just the reason why I'm not wanting to date in Tillamook, mainly is because like I want to send my ex over the edge. I feel like that would just kind of put him over the edge. And he's like in a good place right now. And so
Whoa, you're
I
not.
know. Okay, I saw it coming.
All right. Do you know what codependent is?
Me.
Okay, all right, good. As long as you are able to raise your hand and be like, oh yeah. Over here, table 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told you I have no boundaries. I'm the king of codependent.
Me and you, we're the
That's
same.
not
We're
a good
twins.
pickup line either.
You
All
just
right,
need to
so-
get the book Codependent No More and read that. It's a really good book.
I have it. I think
Oh,
I've
do
read it.
you?
I'll get it on Audible. I like to
Yeah.
listen more than read.
It's a good one, and you have to read it a couple times, but it's a
I
good one.
probably need the workbook. I think I would like to work
Mhm.
through the workbook.
Yeah.
You can't be living your life in the sense of how is this going to affect my ex?
I
You should
know,
be
I
like
just-
my
I
ex.
think I just haven't
in
been
that-
ready.
in
I
that-
haven't been ready.
Okay, all right. So you haven't been ready. That's one reason, but that's not the reason you just gave us. The reason you just gave us was it would send my ex over the edge.
Okay, that's one reason. Now let me give you the other reasons.
Okay.
Okay. So I've met a couple of guys. Neither of them were a love connection. And they all like want to fly in and come see me.
Ooh.
I don't like that.
Why not?
What part?
Because
That they
Okay,
want to
here, I'll
fly
say this.
in?
I
or
don't
that
like
they
people
wanna
to
see
come visit
you?
me either. But I still feel like why not go visit people? Like I've gone and met people more than once, like in a totally separate location. But yeah, if
Yeah,
someone was like,
I
"Hey, I'm
like
gonna
that
fly to your
better.
town and visit you," I'd be like, no, I don't want that. But like
Yeah.
I would say still go meet up with them.
okay, so I did the Boise bash in March of this. No, I always want to say March. It was July. And that was a blast. So like I would really like to do more of those singles things.
Okay.
Those are fun.
Yeah, fun things, not steak dances.
Have you, are you signed up to go to the Boise Lava Retreat?
No, I didn't know about it.
Okay, so there's a Boise Lava Retreat that's happening in the springtime.
Is
And
that in the giant orgy house?
it has the porn room in it, if that's what you're referring to.
Ooh,
that the
porn room.
porch
I'm
thing?
in then.
Yeah, it was the schoolhouse. That's what they called it.
Is it the one you went to before?
Yeah, it's the one that I just went to.
The lava one?
Yeah, the
Was
lava
there
one.
just one?
They just
Sorry,
did-
I'm confused.
Okay, all right, let's take a step back. We're gonna take a step back. We're gonna regroup and we're gonna hammer this on the head. So the Boise Lava Retreat normally happens in the springtime, but because of COVID, they went ahead and they pushed it out. They just had a Boise Lava Retreat, like, I don't know, a month ago.
I don't know why you're saying Boise because it's not anywhere close to Boise.
Pocatello, Boise. I live in Delaware right now. She lives right next to you.
Okay, but that's like 4 hours away. So
Yeah, and it's
Okay, so
40
just call it
hours for
lava.
me. So it's right next
So
to
they
each.
just barely had a lava retreat, and now they're having another one in
They're
the
having another one coming this spring.
Pocatello?
Why don't you invite me?
What?
Why don't you invite me?
I'm not in charge of it. Becky is, and she was in here. Becky. was-
Okay, so lava is in Pocatello because I lived in Pocatello.
It's right next to it.
It's outside of Pocatello, but it's close.
It's right.
yes.
Yeah, it's right on the way to Soda Springs.
Okay. I lived there for 2 years when I was in 4th to 6th grade. And my
Right.
sister lives in Idaho Falls.
Oh,
Pocatello is the armpit of Idaho.
That's what my ex always called Idaho Falls. He's always like, your sister lives in the armpit of Idaho.
both
No,
of them are
Pocatello is
correct.
the armpit.
Yeah, both of them are correct.
No.
Okay, so there's one in the spring,
There's one coming up in the spring.
like June.
What else is coming up? Okay,
'Cause
everything
I
else.
Do
probably
you
can't go
prefer
till
big
June.
group activities as opposed to just like a date with one person?
Well, I actually would like to date, but
Okay.
who?
So when you
There's-
say you don't like to date local, like you don't like to date people in your town, how far are you traveling for dates?
Well, I'm like Portland or like Vancouver,
I
like
don't know how far that is.
area.
Nobody over there.
Like say that in hours.
That's what I'm saying. 2 hours,
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's a 2-hour round trip deal.
not round trip from Tillamook.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
I'm like 2 hours to the airport from my house.
Oh, okay.
I live in the middle of nowhere.
Me too. Different
Except
nowhere.
We all do, except for Celeste. Celeste's in Bumpin, Dallas, Texas.
right.
And
Good
Celeste
old
was,
Dallas, good old Texas.
Celeste was just in Houston.
I was in Houston over the weekend for a wedding.
Fun.
Yeah, I love Texas.
I thought you were in Idaho.
I
The
am.
day that you asked me to look up your Celeste, Texas, you didn't come up with that when I before we were Facebook friends, but you but I didn't know you were in Texas. I'm like, I don't understand why I'm Googling Celeste in Texas.
Yeah.
I thought you were in Idaho.
I was just throwing out random states just to see.
I know, I'm like, I'm
how many
confused.
Celestes in Texas.
I'm confused.
All right, so that you're willing to travel 2 hours.
I would drive. I would go farther.
Okay, so
How far would you go?
How far
Where
would
would
you
I
go?
go?
Yeah.
It depends on who it was for.
No. This is a guy. He's interested. You like him. How far are you willing to go? First base, second base, third base.
5,000 miles, 5,000 more.
I thought we were talking distance.
Oh, right.
Me
Yeah,
too. Me too.
yeah, we are.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would
I
you
would get on
fly
a
to meet
plane. I
somebody?
would get on a plane.
You would get on a plane. Now you have a problem with somebody getting on a plane to come see you, but you're okay getting on a plane to go see them.
There's validity to that.
Yeah.
I agree because I'm the same way.
Critical.
I would much rather go somewhere than have them come to me.
Why?
Absolutely.
Because you're used to your thin slice of
I
paradise.
just prefer them. I'd prefer to go into their world versus them coming into mine.
Exactly. I don't want people to come and be in my real life
be in
until I'm
my-
ready for that.
Yeah. I don't want any of this like
You just want the
being at
fantasy.
home and my kids and my life unless I know that I'm okay with them on the other end first. Yeah. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen. I agree.
Okay,
It's anxiety
so
inducing.
maybe instead of meeting up at my place in Delaware,
We go to Florida.
we
That's
go to
Whitney's
Florida.
pickup place.
Amen. Let's go. Let's meet at a beach. I don't care what beach. Let's go to the beach.
That works. That's a perfect way of doing things. Then
Yeah.
you get to know each other. You don't have any worlds colliding. And then at
I
that
wouldn't care if somebody flew into Portland and I had a free weekend and I would go hang out in Portland with them for the weekend. But like, I'm not bringing you home to my apartment, to my
Right.
kids, where we could see everyone I know at the grocery store and I get all the like 50 IMs like, hey, who's the hunk? I'll be like, you can have him. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Nice. So recently there was
It's nice. And he's like, no.
there was recently a post put up on Facebook talking about
pull it up.
and this is for those of you that are unaware, this is actually in the LDS 35 and Wiser group. So if you're not a part of that group, shame on you.
It's my favorite.
We have interviewed Terry Wilson, who is like the founder of that group. She's amazing. And if you don't know Terry, go watch her Flameless Fireside podcast interview. She was awesome. Celeste was actually good enough to find this post and bring our attention to it.
What post is it? I didn't hear what you said.
Rules of engagement given by a man. I feel like there was quite a few of his points that I was like, yeah, I agree with you. And there's quite a few that I was like,
I'm kind of sick of the girls always saying these are the rules of a relationship. So he's like, you know what? These are the guys' rules. And of course he's being kind of
facetious.
sarcastic in some of those, but I think that there's a root of truth in all of them in his mind. So I thought it'd be interesting to discuss it on here and see what we thought of them.
Please note these are all numbered 1 on purpose.
I know.
They're all equally important.
Okay, so what do we have here? Men are
They're
not
all number
mind
one.
readers.
Okay, here's my thoughts on that. Neither are women.
Right.
We have the same issue with you guys that you guys have with us.
I don't
So-
think it really has to do with mind reading as much as it does hint dropping.
Well, I think it's
when
just
you're lying-
communication.
It is.
or when you're lying in bed and you're just like, I'm hot.
Okay, but do you know how many times I've had the conversation with somebody where I'll ask them a question, a guy, and then they'll be like, well, and I'm like, Kate, no, stop. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear.
Exactly.
Tell me what you really think, because that's what I'm asking. And I have to like force that out of them. I'm like, just tell me. Just tell me what you're thinking. Why is that so hard? Stop trying to spin it and try to make me happy with your answer.
I don't want to say the wrong answer.
I want to know the right answer is whatever you're actually thinking.
No,
it's
because
not wrong answer if it's
your right
wrong
answer will end up with me sleeping on the couch.
No.
Be like, do you think that we should involve a midget in a relationship? And I'll be like, they prefer to be called little people. And then it just goes downhill from there.
No. False.
No.
My ex never slept on the couch.
Mine didn't
and
either. Not
also,
once ever.
Oh
If
no.
you're talking about midgets in bed with your woman, don't.
I refused to ever sleep on the couch. She actually made a comment one time. She was like, "Well, you're not sleeping in my bed," and I'm just like, "That's my bed, and we share
Sounds like
that
a really
bed.
healthy relationship.
So I'm gonna sleep there. If you decide not to sleep in that bed, that's up to you, okay? But I'm gonna be over there snoring and sawing logs all night long on that side of the bed."
For that reason, I'm surprised anyone ever slept in your bed because I've heard you snore. It sucks.
So here's my take on this mind reading. So I'm kind of analytical and I really struggle with understanding sometimes where people are coming from. So I will ask like 10,000 questions to try to figure out the root of what I'm trying to get at. And then I get like people being like, well, you're just too analytical. Just stop analyzing this. But if people would just be upfront and say, you don't have to ask them 25 times or 25 questions to try to get to the core, right? So the key is just be honest. There's an issue, say it.
Yeah, I feel like communication is definitely an issue on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Men like to make it out like it's only women. Women like to make it out like it's only men. Both sides. So I'm going to agree. Yes, men are not mind readers. Men, neither are women. Just tell us
True.
what you're freaking thinking
That's
about.
fair. That's fair.
Right.
All right. Shopping is not a sport. Are you a shopper, Jaclyn?
I do like to shop, but I don't want to go like browse at everything unless
Okay,
I'm in
so
the
not a
mood.
window
I'm like, get in, get what you want, get out. And since I live in the middle of nowhere, I do most of my shopping online now.
It's pretty much like my last relationship. Okay.
Your last relationship was online?
No.
Get in, get out.
Get in,
Yeah.
get what I need, get out.
Now it's mostly
Yeah.
online.
I don't agree with this. Crying is
I
black.
don't either. I was going to say, I got issue with this one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to apologize for having emotions ever again.
I will say though that there are some women that do utilize the crying for purposes of blackmail.
How many? Not very many. Come on.
Oh yeah.
No.
Get somebody that this is the deal. If you are a woman of substance, you actually have a personality, you have thoughts, brain, stuff like that, then this does not apply to you. But if you are an airhead and you use your looks because that's really all you got, then the crying that comes as your way of getting getting what you need.
But that's like
I feel like that would be the minority though.
I do. I agree.
Oh sure. No,
don't
absolutely.
think
Someone that knows a lot of women and knows how freaking awesome they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I know any women at all ever in my life that are just airheads that have no substance at all.
No.
Very true. And I think I've known one woman that I could possibly say that she would probably cry to get her way. But I know a lot of women. So yeah, I don't think there's a lot that do that. Now, women may cry a little more because they're more in tune, or society tells them they can be more in tune with their feelings, but I don't think it's manipulation.
Hey, I cry all the time, but not to manipulate anyone.
Not to manipulate.
Dude, I don't know what happened today. I think my hormones are off or whatever, but I was cleaning, I was doing laundry, I was getting my room ready for my kids to be here for Christmas. So I put on a Christmas movie. I tried a new one called Noel on Netflix, and it got to like the end, and I'm just like, it's so happy.
Did your boobs feel tender?
And then I'm just like, all right, I need a man movie to like chase this with. So I end up watching Endgame of Marvels, and that was the bad decision because
then you're crying because they're all dead.
well, they all come back. They all come back when he like snaps his finger, and then they're like the thing, and then they like walk through, and you're like they all died, and they haven't seen him for 5 years, and then Peter Parker. Oh, I just started. It was awful. I cried a lot today.
Good job.
Okay, I'm a crier.
Good job. I like to see a guy cry. I think it shows.
I was almost gonna take a picture just to prove it, but
Next time, send me a polo when you're crying.
I
Love
did.
it.
I did a.
A crying TikTok?
Yes.
I'll go find it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Were you in the shower?
I was not.
I was gonna say that'd be cheating because we won't know if it's like shower or if it's real tears.
Yep. No.
Hey, I just barely did a shower TikTok,
Did you?
but I haven't posted it yet.
I was gonna say I haven't seen that. So.
No.
So this highlighted one that pretty much goes back to rule number 1.
Yep. Which again, I feel like goes both ways.
Communication.
Men are just as crappy at it as girls are.
Well, I think that my ex didn't like the way I communicated because I'm pretty blunt and direct.
Are you-
And I
are you
don't really
mean
feel
with
like
it?
that was appreciated.
Are you mean with it? I mean,
Well,
there's
I don't think so.
honesty and brutal honesty.
Okay, well, maybe I'm brutally honest, but it wasn't like in a negative way. It was just like, I felt like I was just being clear, like telling him what I want.
Give me an example of what you mean.
Well, I don't even think this is a good example, but just being like, this is what I want for Christmas. Like, buy me this.
That he didn't like that.
I think that's an awesome thing. I think most guys would be like, really? You're telling me what you want? Awesome.
Well, let me think. Let me see if we can go on with this and let me see if I can think of like with the kids, like, I'm trying to think. It's just he's able to deliver like harsh messages and like soften the edges, and I don't take time to soften the edges sometimes.
Okay. So
I
when
just more of a tell it like it is.
it's like you're not really gonna wear that, are you?
Oh no, I don't know if that's a good example.
Like you cooked this?
Who cooked for me?
Oh, did he not cook? No, not so much.
No. That's gonna be a no.
Okay, so let's move on to a different one.
Can it be the next one? Yes and no are perfectly acceptable answers. True, but I don't feel like they're perfectly acceptable in a conversation. If I want to have a conversation and like figure something out, you can't just say yes or no.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
we
more
need
like
to
a
actually
text
discuss it.
Yeah.
Well, in improv, there's a you always
Yes
say
and. Yes and.
Exactly. Yes and what they say is that using no actually kills the energy and momentum moving forward.
Yep.
And so even in just regular, I mean, when you're not doing improv and you're just having that conversation with your significant other, being able to say yes and be like, I don't like it when you do this. Yes. And I don't like it when I do that too. Or yes, and I'm not a big fan of when you do this because of that. And then you're actually able to have that open dialogue. But when you turn around and be like, no, I don't do that. It's not me. It's you. You're the problem.
Well, and when you're trying to have a conversation with someone and they just keep all of their answers very short, like you can't make that happen.
To a certain extent, I understand that. There are some people that do not have all of the answers articulated as to why they are doing what they are doing when they are doing it. And so when a woman comes up and be like, why did you do that? You're just like, because you don't have really an answer right off the bat. I mean, it could be as simple as I was just feeling like that's what I wanted to do at the moment. But depending on what that why was, that might not be the best answer to give. And so it's just like, I don't know.
I see it as like a good, better, best situation. So as far as having good communication in a relationship, maybe yes and no is an okay answer. So maybe that's the good answer, but it's not the better and it's definitely not the best.
Right.
If we're going to have good open communication as a couple, then you just responding with one word, not good. If I say, hey, do you know what you want for dinner? And you say yes.
Right. That's a
How's that helping anyone?
Yep.
Well, because I know what I want for dinner.
Cool.
But
Then get off your
whether or
butt and
not
come
we
make it
have
yourself. Then.
in the kitchen, or whether or not we can afford it, I know what I want: steak and potatoes. Done. But
Yeah, but if I'm in the kitchen making dinner and you just say, yeah, I know what I want, but you don't tell me what it is.
well, if you're already making dinner, then it doesn't matter what I want. I'm having what you're cooking.
Well, I want you to choose something because the mental load of having to make every decision for every person in the family all the time, every day, forever, including just having to come up with 3 meals a day for the rest of my life is exhausting to me. And I can't do that. So for once in your life, instead of saying, I don't care, just tell me something and I'll make it.
Amen.
I'm glad that you said that, because I actually had my kids for like 4 days this week, and I haven't even thought about a meal plan.
I know. Feeding kids
You know
3
what I
times a
do?
day, every day sucks.
I make them each pick a meal.
It's a good
What's
idea.
something that you will eat and not complain about? I can make that happen.
Because then you at least have one kid each meal that's not complaining.
That is true.
The other ones will be, but at least that one is happy.
My
just-
kids
I
will
made-
request something and still not eat it. They'll be like, "Can we have waffles for dinner?" I'm like, "Sure." And then like nobody eats any waffles, and I'm like, I don't even know why I'm here.
I know. I told you, I like, it's like corn dogs and like mac and cheese over here, because that's pretty much all they'll eat. And I
Yeah.
hate that. Like, I love to cook. I love to make nice meals, but especially now that Hannah's moved out, there's no one to eat my meals. So
Yeah.
it's like, what can I buy in a bag I can throw in an oven? See how it comes out. And that's what
Yeah.
they'll eat. It's
I just
ridiculous.
saw a TikTok where they were illustrating the different eating habits from each one of the kids, for the oldest, the middle, and the youngest. And the
That's
oldest,
100% accurate for my kids.
they
100%.
gave the oldest the food, and the oldest was like, "Oh yeah, thanks." And then they give the second oldest, and they opened up the sandwich. They're like, "Yeah," and then they just eat right in the middle. And then the youngest, they give the food, and the youngest is like, "I said I wanted the red plate. I'm not eating this."
So true.
Oh my
I think
goodness.
it's because with your oldest, you have so much more time to focus on that one kid. Like, once you start adding more kids, it's just such a hassle to like force them to eat and have the standoffs. And so at some point, you're just like, I don't care. If you're hungry, eat. If you don't, if you're not, whatever. I'm just gonna go take a bath.
Wait, Nick, go back up. I have another one that I feel strongly about.
Victoria's Secret's one.
No, come to us with a problem only if you want help solving it. That's what we do. Sympathy is what your girlfriends are for.
I
If you
love
are
that.
my partner,
Ooh.
part of your job is to be a support for me as I am for you. And so if I come to you and I say, hey, here's what I got going on, I just need to talk things out. And you're like, I don't want to hear it. Go talk to your girlfriends. That's not going to fly. And also, I don't want you to tell me, here's how you need to fix it. Because what that says to me is that you feel like my solution isn't good enough and yours is better. Like, I've already thought through all 37 ways that I should try to handle this. I just
What-
want to talk through it out loud and get some support.
What most guys don't get is that when a woman is coming up and talking to them about a problem, it's not that they're looking for an answer to the solution. What they are looking for is a connection and someone to walk with them as they are externally processing their problem. They
So I
may-
actually have a male friend that he's kind of one of my armchair therapists. And I'll come to him and I'll just like vent it out. And I'll be like, here's all these things and here's whatever, here's all my thoughts. And he'll take a second. He'll be like, do you want my opinion or do you just want me to listen? And I'll like kind of gut check myself. He'll be like, I don't know, what is it I'm looking for here? And I'm like, okay, give me your opinion. But he doesn't just instantly go in and say, here's what you're doing wrong. Here's how to fix it. Here's what you need to do. He's like, what is it that you're looking for? And sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know. Do I just need to talk or do I really want help with this? And so I'll take a second. I'll be like, okay, yeah, give me your opinion. Tell me what you think I should do.
Nick, what's your opinion as a man? Like, should we preface the conversation with like, hey, I just need to vent, or like, can you help me come up with a solution?
I think that the way I think that's actually the accurate way to do it. Guys innately are there to solve problems. We are there to any barriers that are out there, any obstacles that are out there. We're constantly trying to find out ways around them, ways to solve it, ways to make it easier. Those are the things that drive us in our life. And so, if you're coming to us with something that is, if you're talking about it and you're coming to us talking about it, that means to us that you are coming to us because we have skills and expertise that will help you in this process. So why else would you be going to talk to a mechanic if you don't have a problem with your car? Right? And so as far as we're looking at it, we're there to fix what you're having us do. So if
I'm not sleeping with my mechanic.
if you're
Sleeping with my support person.
well, you want to preface this, and I actually had an ex-girlfriend that was very good at this in her communication. She really helped me out a lot when it came to communication in a relationship. But you want to preface it. You say, listen, I'm going to talk to you and I need you to listen to me. I'm not asking you to solve this, but I would like you to listen to me and let me know that you hear me. And it was weird. I mean, the first couple times that I was just like, well, freaking A, I'm just sitting here listening.
But you're validating and you're listening. That's like key for women, right? I think men need that too, but I know that for me as a woman, like I need to be heard. I need to know, you don't have to agree with me. I just need to know that you heard me.
Well, it's really weird for men to do this in a sense, because once the problem comes in and we fix it, it's done. We move on. And so it's very weird for men when we're talking and whatnot, and a woman is sitting there and she's taking it all in, that next week she can be like, oh, well, you remember when you were saying this and this and this and this and this, and the guy's like, how do you even remember any of that?
I
Well,
just
that's
remember
because
stuff.
it's important to the woman what he's saying, and guys don't listen like that. And so for them to like, it is a skill that men need to learn to do and to internalize for women that they find of value, to listen and understand where they're coming from and look at from their perspective. That way in a week they can turn around and say, oh, I remember when you were talking about yada yada yada, giving that additional validation that they were indeed valuing you so much that they were actually listening.
Yes, because if it's important to me, it should be important to you.
Right.
Which is often not the case for men.
Right.
But I feel like if you are partners that are making an effort to have good communication, that should be something that you would be working on.
And even if the topic's not important to your spouse, like your spouse is like, your feelings should be important to your spouse, right? Or your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if they
It's
don't
important to
have
me.
a topic and they're like, I don't care what color shoes you're wearing or whatever, like, but they care enough to listen to you and to support you and to validate you because they care about you.
Amen. I mean, I don't care anything about football, but I could tell you a lot of information about the Packers, but not because I care, but because I cared about someone that cared.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Was your ex a Packers fan? Your ex-husband?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're big Bear fans.
There was a long time that I purposely was just anyone playing the Packers fan just to piss him off. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm really a big fan of XYZ. And he's like, it's just fun. It's just funner having rivalries.
The Bears.
Okay, you can move on. I'm okay with these next ones. I think some of them are stupid, but not enough that I have strong feelings about them.
Well, just so that we can involve Jaclyn.
Do you have strong feelings about any of these next ones, Jaclyn?
Have you been reading them?
17 months of a headache. See a doctor.
I was gonna ask what that meant, but
Well, when a guy wants to have sex with his wife at nighttime or during the day or at lunchtime. Thank you, Caleb. Exactly. So you wanna? And
Well,
she's
then
like,
maybe
"Oh,
he
I'm
should
sorry.
stop being a headache.
Headache."
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was never a problem.
Yeah, this whole if you think you're fat, you probably are.
Yeah, that one I think he's just being a dick.
Yeah. I think this is a
I,
little mean right there.
I think it's a perspective. I mean, sure, you're not a size 2, but you're also not a size 18.
You know what? There is some validity to the fact that you can be wearing one outfit and look totally slim in it, and then put on a different outfit and it makes you look heavy. Like,
Yeah.
and you haven't changed. It's just the way the cut, the fabric, the colors, the style. So sometimes it's just like, gosh, does this actually make me look fat? Even if you know you haven't changed in size, there is sometimes validity to the fact the way that it's made can make you look heavier than you are.
Yeah, the fit can look different. And so sometimes, yes, then you're like, does this thing make me look fatter than we both know that I am? Because sometimes, yes, it does.
That's a very different way of asking that question.
So really what girls should say if they're not looking for this kind of response he's giving is, does this look flattering on me? And if he was like, you know what, honestly, other things look better on you. Okay. If he's like, no, that does look really good on you. It's probably, that's more what women are asking.
It's flattering. Yeah, that's probably a better way of phrasing it. Yeah.
I'm okay with that. This whole Christopher Columbus did not need directions, and neither do we. Christopher Columbus did need directions.
He did.
He
He a lot of his
used
guidance.
the sextant. He used the stars. I mean, if he was not getting directions, then he would have landed right back in Spain. So
He was exploring. He was looking for somewhere no one had been. If you're going to the IHOP on 2nd Street, you have a destination. You're not just driving out in the middle of nowhere. So there's a difference.
Whenever possible, please say whatever you have to say during the commercials.
Okay, who doesn't have like a TiVo or an option to pause nowadays?
I know, we don't even have commercials anymore.
Okay, Jaclyn, do you like to talk during the movies?
I like to sleep during the movies.
That's
I feel like we're the same person.
Not okay. No, sir.
No,
Wow.
It
Not a
depends.
big movie fan, huh?
I wouldn't say that.
That's what you just said.
They make me tired.
like in the theater or like at home on your couch with a blanket and snuggled up.
And she's going to say yes, because it's
Okay.
yes to both.
Yes. Yeah, I can stay awake at a movie theater. If I'm at home, it depends. If I picked the movie, I could probably stay awake. If a kid picked the movie, I'm probably going to take a nap.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, but if it's a movie that you're interested in, so it doesn't sound like you have a really.
I can watch it if it's not late at night.
And how many movies do you watch that are not at night?
Hey, I just watched 2 movies today and I took a nap during both of them.
Oh, nice.
Hey, was it off your list that you have that you've never
Movies
seen
are for
before, Liz?
My kids decided they wanted a Jurassic Park marathon, so we did
Oh.
1 and 2.
Nice.
Oh, I would have slept through that.
Yeah. I fall asleep in the movie theater though, so
I cannot fall asleep in a movie. Like I think I can count on one hand in my whole entire life that I've fallen asleep during a movie. Like
if I
would-
go to the movie theater or like in the living room, I'll fall asleep every time. If I put a movie on like in my bed in my room and I'm like, I'll just put a movie on and help me fall asleep, I will be awake all night until I turn it off.
I just like it's like my brain's like there's something on and you've got to watch this and it will not, even if I'm tired. Like sleepovers as a kid, I would be like the only one awake still watching this stinking movie. Everyone's asleep. I don't know what it's an issue. Like I would like to sleep sometimes. I can't shut it off. I don't know. It's weird.
So this is something that I learned on my mission, was that women itch as much as men do, but women seem to have an easier way of scratching what itches.
Well, we're much more discreet about it.
Right, exactly. And just by like moving your legs back and forth, crossing
I
your
was
legs.
thinking boobs, like my bra itches all the time. But yeah, sometimes you just move your body and
Yeah,
make it itch.
yeah. Guys don't have that same ability. It doesn't do as much for us.
If you kind of like lean forward a little bit and then just sort of back and forth.
Form around in your seat.
No.
Yeah.
And
No?
if I ever try to do that, you know that it's happening.
Try it right now.
I mean, if you just go like this, you're like, all right, well, I gotta maintain the stance to get a little freedom going on here, and then you just kind of jump up and down. But I mean, there is no subtle way of doing this. Not for a guy, at least.
You could like turn around or something.
Or like go to the restroom.
Yeah, leave.
That's not.
Yeah, it's gonna take me 2 seconds, and no, I'm not gonna take a 5-minute round trip to the bathroom just so I can scratch my
Well,
nuts.
go to
Why
a
not? You could fart while you're in there.
Yeah,
Double duty.
deal with it all in the bathroom and come on out all refreshed.
Now, just wait till you're looking out the window and just kind of
That
and
works.
I'm done.
Do you do that though? Do you wait
Hey, no,
for the opportune moment?
if you didn't see it, then it didn't happen.
I did every time.
This kind of pisses me off a little bit. This is with that open communication. Okay, if you're just being a little bit bitter about a situation and you're internalizing it and you're not sharing it,
I
And
think sometimes when you say nothing, at least for me, like there is the time you're like nothing, you're so annoyed you just don't even want to talk about it, like whatever, nothing. But sometimes, like when I say nothing, it's because in my head I know I'm like I shouldn't be upset about it, and so I'm
Same.
thinking, no, nothing's wrong. Like, I know I got upset or I'm annoyed by whatever, and I'm really kind of probably overreacting. So it's a nothing because it really is a nothing, right? No, it's my own issue. Nothing's wrong. And then they think you're trying to be drama, but it's like, no, like right now it's like, it really is nothing. Let me just deal with it and move on.
That's what I was gonna say. Like right now, yes, something is bothering me, but it's not worth fighting over it because it will be nothing once I get over it.
Right.
Like we don't need to discuss it. We know whatever. Like, yeah, I'm freaking out, but give me 5 minutes to work through it in my own head, and it is nothing.
It will be nothing. Right.
I had this conversation with my 12-year-old son today. Plans changed, and I don't really deal well with plans changing very easily. And so he was like, "You're mad at so-and-so, aren't you?" And I was like, "No, I'm not mad." I said, "It just takes me a few minutes to process. Like, I'm going to be fine. It's fine. I'm not mad. I just need like a few minutes to like
Just a
relax
painful
about it."
adjustment. Like, just let me mold this over for 1 second and get it aligned straight, and then I'm fine. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. But that was something I did all the time in my marriage, that like nothing thing. And so like, I think I've just learned a lot since then. Hopefully that's the goal.
Yeah. Because
I will say kind of along these lines, I know another thing that guys don't like is when women say I'm fine, is they feel like it's kind of the same thing. Honestly, for me, like I feel like if I'm not really good or it's not really bad, like I am fine. Because sometimes I am just fine. Because I'm extra and I'm crazy and I'm way too excited or I'm way too sad. But sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm like, no, I'm just fine. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just fine. Sometimes it just is what it is.
true.
Yep.
so
Why did you stop on that one?
I know.
what?
Have enough clothes.
Is there such a thing?
That's like saying you have enough shoes. Like, it's a false statement.
Well, and I feel like, yes, maybe I have like 30 shirts in my closet and you look at that and you feel like that's a lot, but not all of those fit me. And not all of them fit me in the same time of the month. Not all of them fit me in the same time of the year. Not all of them are going to be in style at certain times of the year. I have a lot of babies and I go from big to small. And so sometimes there's only this many that fit me, but maybe there's all of them here, but I will wear them eventually. But I don't wear them all right now. And right now there's nothing that fits me.
Yeah. And plus it's like your mood. What do you want to wear today? What's going on? Like there's just, you need to have a variety.
Now,
And also for situations. Like
Yeah.
I have a lot of like
Occasions.
business casual clothes. I don't have a lot of like going on vacation clothes.
okay, so my ex-wife, before I met her, I actually knew of her through Facebook. She was doing a thing called 365 Days of Fashion, where somebody had challenged her that she had to wear a different outfit every single day for 365 days with the clothes that she had. And she was like on day like 180 when I met her. And she had an entire walk-in closet completely filled from bottom to top, like overflowing. And I remember coming into that closet thinking to myself, where is the space for me? Like how would I even implement myself into there was not space for me. And so we had to like go through, and I mean, we're talking about like 30 different pairs of jeans. We're talking about like, it was outrageously ridiculous. And when we moved to a different place, I made a closet out of the kitchen area of the mother-in-law apartment that we were living in downstairs while all of the kids in the family lived upstairs. And in the kitchen, it was 20 feet, 2 racks, all full. So yes, there is a point of too many clothes. I literally color coordinated it too.
But sometimes there's going to be a reason that you need something else.
No.
Like I wear business casual clothes to work every day. So I own 6 pairs of black skinny jeans because I wear them every single day. But if I'm going to go on vacation to Vegas, then I'm like, crap, I don't own anything. I own a pair of shorts. I don't have anything to wear for this trip.
There's practical application, and I'm okay with that. Okay, but if there's just clothes coming out of your nose for no other reason than for the fact. Now, my ex, like
But
I
her
learned that
situation isn't typical though. That's not typical. Most
Right.
women don't have a giant closet overfull.
her issue with the fact that her ex used to tell her that she couldn't buy anything. He didn't let her buy anything, and so when she like got out on her own and was away from him, that was her like therapy, was going out and just buying whatever the hell she wanted. It was an issue.
You know what? On the opposite end of this, I read a book and I've been sitting here trying to think of what it's called. Like I can't pull it up, but it was about a lady who was challenged to wear the same outfit for a year. And she was she's an
uniform. I've
author.
heard of
She did
that.
a lot of presentations and things like that. And she literally wore the same outfit every day for a year. She could change, like she could add scarves or belts or jewelry or something to kind of change it up a little bit, but it was the same clothing every day for a year.
Not
And
the same
she did it.
pieces, but like the same like 5 black shirts.
Right.
for
Well,
example.
no. Well, I don't know. No, she made it sound like it was the exact same clothes because she would wash them at night, put them back on the next day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's weird. I know I've seen a few people that they do like a uniform and they do wear like the same thing every day, but it's not like the same shirt, but they
No,
have like a few of the same. Like I have like 4 pairs of the exact same skinny jeans. Like I went in the store and was like, just give me 4 of them. So it's kind of a uniform, but it makes things a lot easier. Makes it so much easier to
Yeah.
get dressed. You spend less time like
She
what should I
did. She's
wear?
like, I mean, in her case was a little different. Like she just had the one outfit. So she had to wash them frequently. So that was probably a little bit
Seems
of
weird because then they're just going to get
But
worn
I
out
can't
faster.
remember why she did it. There was a reason behind it, and I can't remember what it was. But she said it was a lot easier. She's like, I realized that clothes really don't matter. Like it's still her personality. She had a pretty crazy job, really good. She was, she's really good at what she does. She has a lot of followers, and she's like, and it didn't matter that I was always wearing the same clothes. They didn't care because it was about me. And so I thought it was interesting. Like, I guess there is the other extreme, and she made it work. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that, but interesting.
Mm.
Yeah. Every day for a year. It's
That's
crazy.
crazy action. Well, that was good. Tell you what, let's go ahead and move on to a game portion.
So I do have one other comment about communication,
Okay.
because I've experienced this in relationships before. It is totally possible for two people to work at communication, to have really good communication styles and techniques, but not have those styles line up together. Because I've been in a relationship before, like where I really made an effort to communicate and to try to be clear with everything. And I felt like he also made an effort, but somewhere there was still just a disconnect that it just didn't line up. So men and women, everyone should communicate better, but that doesn't mean that everyone is going to match your communication styles.
I can see that.
Maybe like love languages. I don't know.
That might be to do with them. Yeah.
Like a
What's
Mars and
your
Venus
necklace?
type of thing.
Say that again.
Like Mars and Venus.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that's strange. Communication styles didn't line up.
I actually have never read that book. That book came out when I was like, I think 10. I mean,
Yeah, you were
I'm
10?
sure Celeste was like, married and
Okay,
like
we
in college
probably-
by then.
Well, if you were 10, I was probably, graduating high school. So yeah. That's probably like 19.
I definitely wasn't born yet.
No. Whitney,
Let's
you
look
know
it
that
up.
I'm like old enough to be your mom. That's so weird.
Not quite.
Well, I'm like 14 years older than you, I could be.
I guess biologically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible.
You look really young, Celeste.
Thank you.
She could have been
Okay, it came out in 1992, so I was 5.
Like I said, I was,
Fast
I
forward.
graduated. Yep.
There it is.
92.
All right. So, Jaclyn.
Oh no. I know how the games go on here. I'm scared.
We won't be too harsh on you. We're not going to do a nick on you.
Oh my goodness.
It gets special.
I'll do a nick on somebody, I'll tell you that.
I know.
Yeah, where's Everett?
Everett had other plans that he had to take care of tonight, so he recently got a new job, so he's been really focused on that.
Gotcha.
Yep. All right. So, would you rather be feared by all or loved by all?
Loved by all.
Loved by all.
Are we doing would you rathers? I'm going to have to look up a few
Perfect.
gross ones.
Here, I feel like we should put a spin on it. Nick,
Oh,
you asked
cool.
the question. Me and Celeste, or I guess you can too. We're going to try to guess what she will answer.
Ooh.
All right.
And
I
then you
like
tell
it.
us your answer. Because I feel like me and you are the same person. So I feel like I bet I can guess all your answers.
We need a girls' trip.
I know, we
Me,
should.
you, and Celeste. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be
Let's
so
fly
fun.
up here. We'll meet somewhere in the middle.
For
So
real.
here's your question.
Okay.
I'm gonna have Celeste and Whitney go ahead
We're
and
going to guess Jaclyn's answers. So don't tell us until after we respond, but don't give your responses based on our responses.
there we go.
Okay.
Should we
Okay, so here we go.
saying them out loud? Are we typing them in the chat? What are we doing, Whitney?
Oh, I was just going to say it out loud.
Okay.
Would you rather be poor but help people, or become incredibly rich by hurting people?
I think she would say poor.
You can be poor. Absolutely. There
Ooh,
it is.
Perfect.
Poor.
Nice.
That one was easy. Come on. You got to get a good one there, buddy.
I'm just saying, like that could be something as simple as I'm working for the tobacco company and I'm a VP of sales. I'm
I don't
incredibly
think that's ethical.
huh?
I don't think it's ethical.
To work for a tobacco company?
Yeah, like can you have a temple recommend to do that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
But morally,
Okay,
can you
let's hurt.
facilitate
Let's
that,
hurt
though?
people then. I'm just kidding.
I think there's plenty of things that you can do and you can still have a temple recommend, but you may not be able to reconcile that morally within yourself.
That's more important to me.
Yep.
Would you rather donate your body to science or donate your organs to people who need them?
I'm gonna say people. No, I'm gonna say science because I would choose science for me, and I feel like we're the same person because that ultimately could help a lot more people than just however many organs you have available.
I am so going to say she's donating to people. And
Oh.
that's just because I'm a huge organ donor pro, like do it. So have
Wow.
faith in you.
So we have Whitney. Oh, wait. Oh,
Organs.
organs.
I only say organs just because I've had several friends that have needed and gotten transplants. And then, so let me tell you a story. So really good family friends of ours, their son, that's my daughter's age, needed a new liver. And so when he was one, he went down to Stanford and they stayed at my grandma's house after the surgery and whatnot. But a child or a person had, I think it was a child, had passed away in a car wreck, and they were an organ donor. And he got a portion of her liver, and so he has that. So he's like, fast forward 16. So this was probably like 5 years ago. One of his older sisters died in a car wreck, and they were able to donate her organs. And like somebody has her eyes right now, but she donated like everything that could be donated and used was. And so she was able to donate, I think, to like 4, 5, 6 people.
Amazing. Love it.
I signed up to be a live tissue donor maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And I'm honestly like a little bit disappointed that nobody has ever called me yet.
What's a live tissue
Yeah.
donor? What is that?
So it would be like if someone needed a kidney, like something that you could live without, or just a portion of your liver, like something that you don't have to be dead for that you could still donate.
Wow, that's cool.
Or like, I don't know,
I put myself up
bone
for
marrow.
an organ donation on my left testicle, but nothing yet.
I know. I'm always like,
Why
why
not
does
the right
anybody
one?
want my body?
Why not the right
You
testicle? How come you-
laugh, but people need them.
It's true.
Okay, so would you rather lose all of your memories from birth until now, or lose your ability to make new long-term memories?
As a mother, I'm going to say that she wouldn't want to lose the memories of her babies. Giving birth, raising her kids.
Okay. Celeste is going to say,
Well, no, because okay, so the choice is you either don't remember the past and remember the future, or you just don't remember the future and only can remember the past, right? So, gosh, that's a hard one, right? I think I'm gonna go with Whitney on this one though, but that's a toss up in my mind. But yeah, I think I'd go with Whitney.
That's what I picked.
you would rather remember the past?
Mhm.
Yeah, because then I feel like if you can only remember like the future, the here and now, that you don't know who you are.
Right.
You don't know where you've been.
It's like amnesia.
Yeah,
true.
you like lose everything.
I would say I would prefer the future.
Yeah, there's parts of me that would be like, I would just enjoy like moving forward with this.
Like,
but-
listen, I mean, the past happened. I'm sure I could learn things about my past. I may not have like remember them.
Yeah, but you're not going to remember it though. So yeah, so somebody mentioned like 51st dates. Every day you're going to wake up and you're not going to know who you are, where you are, who anyone is around you.
No, that's not what it's saying. It's saying that you lose all of your memories from birth till now, or you lose. And so from
Yeah,
birth,
but eventually, like you'll remember up until, what are you, 38? You'll remember everything up to when you're 38. But eventually you're going to go through life and your life is going to change and the people around you are going to change and you're not going to remember any of that.
oh yeah. So that would be 51st dates. I'm talking about the flip side. Like, forget about everything that has happened. I'm now living from now on. You get to reinvent yourself. You get to become a new person. You can become whoever you want to be.
Yep.
You can learn who your kids are. You can learn who your family is. You can fall in love with them all over again.
But when they're babies, like that connection,
You can have new babies.
not at my age.
But I like my
Wait.
babies I already have.
Yeah. It's a tough one because there's definitely parts of my past I'm like, I wish I could just leave it back there and not
Right.
even recall it. Yeah. So
Ooh, this is interesting.
Oh no.
Would you rather be forced to kill one innocent person or kill 5 people who committed minor crimes? I was thinking major crimes. Let's change that. We'll make it major.
Yeah, let's
I
make
was gonna
that
say
major.
minor crimes like robbing the gum from the store.
No.
But you're still
Right,
pretty
right.
innocent.
you're going to choose the major people. That's what makes it challenging is the minor. 5
Yeah.
minors or is an individual that's innocent. If you do 5 majors, then of course everyone's going to choose that one.
Okay, fine. We'll do it the way that it's written.
Yeah, if it's like one innocent person or 5 pedophiles,
Yeah, right, exactly. But if it's like one innocent person and 5 people who stole gum,
At the stake. Okay, what do you think, Whitney? What is Jaclyn gonna pick?
I think she'll choose one person.
Ooh. Just remember that God cannot allow the least degree of sin.
I'm going to go for the 5 just
That's
because
right.
Well, those
I
5
would
people
think-
also have an opportunity for repenting. The atonement is for everyone.
Shouldn't have stolen that gum, bitch.
but they can also repent in the hereafter. So meet those missionaries in the, the afterworld.
All right, Jaclyn.
Jaclyn.
Okay, just for the record, I would kill nobody if that was an option.
Right.
Not
One
one person.
innocent.
One innocent.
We get to choose the innocent.
It's you, Nick.
Nick.
Which one? Who are we voting off the island?
That's
Nick.
right.
Your oldest child.
Ooh,
Didn't
no,
see
that changes
coming,
it.
did you? Yeah,
Killing
it changes
Your
it.
own
doesn't it?
kids or killing someone you know as opposed to a stranger.
Right.
Oh, snap.
I thought there was like a philosophy like dilemma. I forget what it's called, but it's something about like a train and you got to choose the track. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Because I feel like this is a really common thing. And like if you go on one track, then you kill one person. If you go on another track, then you kill like 20 people. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Because I know this is like a real thing. I just don't remember what it's called.
No.
Well, you
idea.
think about it with politics and like wars and things like that, and like dealing with hostage
Yeah.
situations. Like sometimes you have to let people die for the greater good, and I mean that's be a horrible decision. I mean, spot to be in, but I mean there is, that does happen, sadly.
Heidi has a very interesting spin on that. You do one innocent, then there's less trauma to bear.
Yeah,
It's kind of a selfish perspective there,
I
Heidi.
think that if you have to kill someone, there's just trauma, no matter what.
Right? Okay. Would you rather know all of the mysteries of the universe?
Hey, hold on. It's called the Trolley Problem. It has a real name. You can look it up on Wikipedia. So it's a real thing.
Trolley
Just so
Problem.
everyone knows. Okay, go ahead.
No. Apparently that's very important.
Trolley Problem, 1976 philosophy paper. So,
Perfect. For
okay.
anybody that would like to go and
Next.
look that up. Okay, so would you rather know all the mysteries of the universe or know every outcome of every choice that you make?
I think she would choose to know the outcome of choices because I feel like she's an overthinker and she's already trying to think of what is every outcome that could be. So just save time to just know what they are.
Every choice that she makes, the outcome or the mysteries of the universe.
Right. So when anybody comes up and is like, well, why is the sky blue? Why does quantum physics actually work? Why is it that love hooks?
I'm gonna go with what I pick. I would pick the mysteries of the universe. I'm not sure if I could deal with all knowing what comes from all of my choices. I think that would probably, because there's so much domino effect with that. I think I'd have like overload. So
No joke, right?
universe for me, 100%.
And the universe seems big though.
Yeah, good job.
Can you read that? I can't read that. Oh, mysteries. I thought it said universe. I was trying to make it out.
The mysteries of the universe.
I feel like
Too
that
much
seems like a lot of weight
responsibility,
as well.
Whitney.
You what?
That would be too much responsibility.
I mean, but the universe feels big too. That feels like a lot of weight on your shoulders also.
Yeah, but understanding it all, like grasping the like how that all is, and that'd be amazing.
Hey,
I
it
mean,
doesn't
one
say that
day-
you understand it. It just says that you know it.
Right. Yeah, you know it all. It's like you become like God, right? In that sense. Because that's
that-
actually the goal at the end is you're going to know how to do all that and understand it and
That
have
feels like a huge responsibility to me.
All right, so
That's why I'm glad women can't be like the bishop, because I don't want that responsibility on my shoulders. I don't want to know all the extra things.
You ready for a gross one? Should I throw one out there?
sure.
No, I'm not good at gross ones.
Ooh. Okay. I know we did poop last time, so we'll steer clear of that one. Okay, so okay, no, we're gonna go with it. Okay, would you rather poop in your hands or poop in someone else's hands?
Somebody else's. Oh,
Oh,
I think she's gonna choose somebody else's.
go with somebody else.
Why?
Okay, we'll do another.
I don't want to poop in my own hands.
I mean, why would that be a requirement? Why can't you just poop on the ground?
Because
I could
it's
see if you have to
would
pick it
rather.
up.
Because nobody's supposed to have poop on the ground. And
I've held poop in my hands more than once.
yeah. As a pet owner and a mother, I have had to deal with a lot of other people's poop.
Yeah.
And probably in my future job, there's also going to be poop. So
All right,
I
then
can volunteer for more poop.
I feel like I would rather just like take care of it privately, do my own thing. If for whatever reason my poop needs to be caught by someone, let me just do that myself. It doesn't say I can't like wear gloves or like put a bag over my hand. I don't want to poop on someone else in front of them. Like that's embarrassing.
I'm just saying. What if it's runny? What if it's not like solid? Gross.
I mean, I know my poop, Nick.
maybe you're recovering from like a virus and you've got that viral effect where it's just coming out, you know?
Well, no, it doesn't say diarrhea. It says poop.
It does say poop, but poop comes in many forms.
This is true.
If it said diarrhea, then I think that would either way, I don't want a diarrhea on someone else. Like I want to just take care of this by myself alone.
All right, Jaclyn.
I'm with you, Whitney.
Would you rather all electrical devices mysteriously stopped working forever, or the government of the world are only run by people going through puberty?
What was the first one again?
Would you rather that all the electrical devices in the world mysteriously stopped working, or
Forever.
governments, stop working forever,
We just had an EMP, took out all the electrical devices.
or the government of the world are run only by people going through puberty?
That's awesome.
Do you feel like they could make worse choices than the politicians that we have now?
Good point.
Yes.
I'm thinking they could.
Yes, I do.
I have a 14-year-old. I'm telling
Going
you.
like from 0 to 60 in like no time flat.
Hmm. I have 2 teenage girls. That would be scary.
All right. So
I have to make a decision. Okay.
oh, don't answer though. I'm gonna okay. So I am going to choose.
Leslie's going to look at this from her own perspective.
I am.
even though she's gonna, she's
Okay.
looking
So I
at
don't know if this was like
Jaclyn.
nationwide, but last year CenturyLink in a lot of areas went down for like 2 days. So there was no internet at all for like 2 days. And it affected so many things. So many things. Like phones aren't working, businesses can't do business at all. Like alarms are going off. So much stuff is run online these days. Like if something happened like that, we would be screwed. So all electrical devices stop working forever. Like that's a big deal. We'd be in big trouble if that were the case. Kids running the world. probably also not a great thing.
Newcomb!
I feel like it's partially due to the fact that they're children, not just that they're going through puberty. If it was like adults that for whatever reason are going through puberty, but like they have their full frontal cortex developed,
Right.
that'd be
Is
different.
it they're running the whole world? Is that what it was, Nick?
Yeah, the world.
Yeah, the governments of the world are only run by people going through puberty.
Is everywhere in the world losing their electronics as well?
Yes.
So like no cars, no planes.
Okay,
Like
have you ever read the book 1 Second After? Anybody out there? It's about like an EMP that goes off and totally takes out the US, like electrical sources.
no power,
Scary.
no heat.
I have like so many things now that you can do manually because I had to go out and like make sure I have like everything. I've got a sun oven. I've got everything that can be done without electricity because it freaked me out so bad. Anyway, side note.
I don't know. I feel like both of them would be catastrophic.
I am going to go with kids ruling the world. That's the one
I'd
I
rather have kids rule the world.
That's
I
me.
agree.
I'd probably go the other route because I'm prepared. But for her,
I feel like I would rather have the kids rule the world. It doesn't say that they can't have adult advisors to be like, hey, yo, maybe you're making a dumb choice. Maybe let's not order everyone in the world to
they're
eat
going
Tide
through
Pods.
puberty. They're not going to listen.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Does your 14-year-old listen to you, Celeste?
No.
Hey, but I mean, some are better than others. There's plenty of smart kids out there.
When
It
my
doesn't say that
oldest
they're
was
all
14,
irrational.
she would have listened to me.
But
My
have you seen the TV series called Revolution?
mm-mm.
It's based off of this. It's based off of the idea of all the the electricity in the world go out.
Really?
Yes.
It's a TV show?
Yes.
I'm writing that one down. I'm
It's called
telling you, that's
Revolution.
it's an interesting.
It's really good. And yeah, it's
Revolution. Is it on? What's it on? Is it on Netflix or?
I think it was on Netflix last time I checked, but it's been a little while.
All right.
But yeah, it's a very good one, and the premise is that the government created something in the air that literally sucked out electricity, and when they activated it, anywhere that there was electricity, it would be getting sucked out of the air, so no electricity could be used. You had people that were carrying around iPhones because it was the last picture that they ever had of their kids. So it's on there, but they don't know how to access it. Quite intriguing.
Planes falling from the sky. Okay, go ahead, Jaclyn.
Well,
What's your
Jaclyn, what do you think?
I picked kids ruling the world.
I agree.
Gotta have faith in those ones you're bringing up, and hopefully something will sink in. The other way, it doesn't matter who's ruling the world because no one's got electricity. It'd be like chaos everywhere.
That is true.
Chaos, complete chaos.
I know. I have faith in kids. I feel like there's lots of stupid kids and everyone does stupid things, but there's also a lot of really good kids.
Yep, I agree.
I feel like no power, like no electricity, no way to cook, no fridge, no cars, no literally none. That a lot of people would die from that.
No, I totally agree. There's
right.
so much that electricity. I mean, we've become so dependent upon it, on just. I mean, like you said, your phones, your business, your everything, just from CenturyLink. That wasn't even your electricity.
I know, that was just one internet company, and like we could not do business for 2 days. I had to call, I think I was trying to call our phone company, and their phones were out because their phones run through Wi-Fi. Like and then I had, for 2 straight days, I had all of our alarms going off for all of our fire systems because they go off of Wi-Fi and they didn't have signal.
Crazy action.
I'm totally putting this link for this book in here because you all need to read it. Like
Awesome.
Yes.
1 Second After by William.
It is
watched.
It will change your life. No joke. It is fiction, but he's a very educated military individual. He has a lot of military knowledge. And so, yeah, it's pretty intriguing and pretty eye-opening.
That's awesome.
So Jaclyn, assuming you said you're done with school in 6 months, assuming that the whole earth still has power, and assuming that our government hasn't doomed us all, do you plan to start dating? What are your plans and once you graduate school and you're not crazy busy?
Yeah, I'm hoping to date. I mean, I would like to date now.
But you were saying that if you're dating now, that your priority is your schooling.
It is. School and my kids are my priority.
Well, no, you did say that if it was somebody that of caliber, then you would make it work.
Yes, I'm very open to that.
If it's the right person, you make things work. That's kind of how I view it. Yeah.
Yep.
Are you looking for somebody that's more domineering, somebody that's more submissive? What are you looking for in the bedroom?
Nick's actually just wondering.
Oh, I'm sorry,
who's
like
domineering.
in a relationship. That came out wrong.
Oh, did it? I don't know what
was your ex?
Crazy. Yeah,
So you're an extrovert. Are you looking for someone more extroverted or more introverted?
well, he was more introverted.
It seemed like it worked for a little bit.
But still like a people person.
Okay.
Like he's really good at his job in healthcare. He's good with his patients and putting people at ease and that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, I need somebody. I'm a people person. That's my thing. And so, just somebody I can connect with, that we have common interests and common goals. That was a thing. Like we got married in the temple, and then it was like one day I looked at him and I was like, oh my gosh, like I thought we went to the same church and had the same standards, and we don't. And so that makes it really hard to raise kids.
Yeah.
So just having things in common, like the important things in common.
Like you don't have to have the same music, but just the important foundational stones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I love to try new things. Like if they're into, like if they have a hobby, like 90% of things, I'm like, oh, I totally suck at that. Like, you want to go golfing? Okay, I'll go golfing with you. Or, hey, you could do that with your friends if you'd rather. Like it really doesn't matter, like the little things. Just somebody who wants to do all the cooking and all the cleaning and everything else.
I would take one of those.
Sign me up.
No.
Oh, you're awesome, Jaclyn. I loved getting
So you want a maid with benefits is what it sounds like.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
But
Is
like,
there
who
a site?
doesn't though? Like, be real. Don't act like she's being shallow. Like, seriously, who doesn't want that?
A good-looking hot maid with benefits.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If anyone says they don't want that, they're lying.
They are. Absolutely.
No, I can cook, but just probably some people think I shouldn't. And I can clean, but my house is never like perfectly in order. Like I live in an apartment with 4 kids. It's a nice apartment, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, like, but it's just not like ever perfect. So I gave up on that dream.
Good.
I don't got the energy for that either.
So introverted,
Yes, I am very.
but a people person. Okay.
I don't know.
Totally be introverted and a people person. It's where you get your energy, right? You can still love people and enjoy to be around people, but that doesn't mean you
Absolutely.
have to be around people.
I'm just thinking Josh.
Oh.
Did you get to see an interview with Josh Sager?
I think so. I don't remember.
He's kind of cute.
He's on there.
When he was getting divorced, he had a little something on the way out of the
On the
mill.
way
He
out.
actually mailed me a birthday present. Nick didn't even text me on my birthday.
Josh,
He lives in Utah.
Yeah, he
Who
mailed
did
me
you
a
mail
birthday
it?
present. You didn't even text me on my birthday. So he's a good guy.
What,
I
Who
was,
went-
cares?
was
Went
it
to
your
school with his
birthday?
cousins.
Yeah, it was. Thought we were best friends. So
Hello,
F
she
you.
had a birthday bash.
We're like the
Remember? She was
we're like the
doing her
bestest
birthday thing.
friends.
Obviously not.
Was it December 12th?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm putting it on my calendar.
Everyone is better friends with me than you are.
Nick,
And I even let you sleep in my bed. I should have made you sleep on the floor.
yeah. You're gonna make him cry. Well, Jaclyn, I don't know what he's doing, but I know we're up here at the 2-hour mark. So I'm just grateful that you were able to come on, kind of not last minute, but that we were able to get you to take that slot. I was super excited about that. It's been good.
Well,
You know,
Thank you. I've been dying to come on since I found out about it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm ready to meet some people, and there's no one in Tillamook, Oregon. Surprise.
Well, hopefully when this posts, you'll be able to have everyone looking at it and thinking, well, she's okay with a long distance relationship. So maybe I'll reach out.
There it is.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know if I'm okay with it. I'm willing to entertain the idea.
right.
You know what? You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We're going to go ahead and end this call, and we will be back with you momentarily.